Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Stephen Troup. I'm the Scientific Director of EV in the United Kingdom. I must start by declaring that I have no commercial interest in any of the I must declare that I have no commercial interest in any of the machinery that I'm going to talk about today. These are my children. George is 24 years old and Maddie is 21 years old. And I am absolutely certain that their mother is their mother, and I am 99.9% certain that I am their father. And that is a fundamental principle of families that's very, very important. And my presentation this afternoon is about how we need to maintain that very important family issue in the work that we do. The Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority is the regulatory body in the United Kingdom, and a few years ago they published data around incidents that could occur in IVF units in the United Kingdom. And in the UK, we're very open. We tell the regulator every time we make a mistake. And they grade the types of incidents from grade A, which are extremely severe, through to things that we probably shouldn't even have told them about. What's interesting though is that the second highest number of incidents occur in the laboratories. The largest instance of things going wrong is actually clinical, but most of that is ovarian hyperstimulation, which we have to report. So this is what we're interested in here. Back in 2002 in the United Kingdom, there was a very high profile mistake made in an IVF unit in North England, where a white couple gave birth to black twins. And the press in the United Kingdom got hold of this. They were sometimes extremely cruel about what had happened. I guess this is funny, but it doesn't really help the situation at all. What's perhaps more worrying is that these mistakes are continuing to happen around the world. So in 2013, there was a similar error in an Italian clinic. In 2015, the same thing again. In 2016, the same thing again. Mix-ups in the IVF lab are still happening. And in fact, if you Google IVF mix-ups, there has been one mix-up every month this year, somewhere in the world. So these mistakes are still being made. In the United Kingdom, we are required to witness procedures. The code of practice that we work to has a whole section on witnessing. And this can be achieved manually by asking a colleague to check what you're doing and recording that you've done it correctly. But witnessing manually is distracting. It has resource implications. Some centres employ people just to witness procedures, and it's time consuming. And a quick calculation from one of the centres that I worked in would suggest that we spend about 20 minutes in every single treatment cycle just witnessing, which is quite a lot of time. The difficulty, however, is that human beings are not very good at this. And I'll give you this as an example. If you count the number of people, wait until they move and then count them again. So it's changed. Now, I don't know how this works, but it serves to proved the point that the human eye is very easily confused. The other issue that we have within IVF is something that has been termed involuntary automaticity. This man here, Brian Toft, carried out the government's inquiry into the black baby incident in the UK, and he decided that one of the contributing factors is that if somebody is doing the same thing over and over again, they get to the point where they think they're doing it correctly, but in fact they've done it wrong. And I think that happens in IVF labs. I was lucky enough to be asked to sit on the regulator's so-called advisory group on safety and new technologies shortly after the incident had occurred. And this group was asked to consider the role of new technologies within IVF labs with a view to reducing the risk of mismatches occurring, and also to provide guidance for clinics around these technologies and about how witnessing should be performed, and also to use an evidence base for the effectiveness of any techniques that were going to be used. We considered RFID technology, so the technology that is included in the RI witness system that I'm going to talk about. Everybody is familiar with RFID tags. We inject them into our pets so that we know whose pet is whose. It's the same technology that's used on clothing to stop you stealing it from stores, and more recently the electronic passports that we have contain our RFID tags. So these are it's a commonly used technology. There were concerns about the safety of using RFID technology in an IVF lab. And the concerns were based around the fact that the frequency of radio waves that are used in mobile phones is very similar to the frequency of radio waves that's used in microwave ovens. And we all know what happens when you put food into a microwave oven. So people were concerned that if we have radio waves in IVF labs, then we may somehow be damaging the gametes or the embryos. But in fact, the radio frequency, the frequency of the radio waves that's used in the RI witness system is some 60 times lower than a mobile phone. So the regulator in the UK deemed that this technology was safe to use. So this is how I've used it in the laboratories that I've worked in. Effectively, everything that is used in a treatment cycle is labelled with an RFID tag, including the patient, who gets an identity card. The equipment within the laboratory is then fitted with readers that read the tags. And these readers can be fitted into safety cabinets, they can be fitted into isolators, they can be retrofitted into existing equipment. So it's a very easy system to install. And in simple terms, if you bring the wrong dish into the area at the wrong time, the system will tell you to stop. People, I think, are sometimes concerned about the complexity of installing such a system into a laboratory that's already running. And I suppose I'd like to reassure you, this is the process flow diagram for the RI witness system in the most recent laboratory that I've installed it into. And it looks complicated, but there are two important points, I think. Firstly, is that it can be customised to your own way of doing things. So you don't have to change the way that you do anything. This is quick to do. It only takes about half a day to set up the whole process for your own laboratory. And the people from RI and from Origio are extremely experienced at doing this. So I wouldn't let that put you off. There are barcode witnessing systems as well. There are several of them here at ESHRE this year. There's an important difference between the barcode and RFID technology. To use a barcode, you have to present the barcode to a reader. You have to put it over a scanner that will read the barcode. One of the advantages, in my opinion, of the RFID tag is that that does its work passively. It automatically reads the tag when you put the dish or the tube into the reader. So this is what we're trying to stop. If we have some eggs from Mrs. A, we want to mix them with some eggs, with some sperm from Mr. A, and we're happy. If, however, we take Mrs. B's eggs and by mistake we take Mr. C's sperm, that obviously is what we're trying to avoid. But there's another issue that may occur. Somebody, by mistake, might leave Mr. A's sperm in the cabinet and then, by mistake, mix it with Mrs. B's sperm. And the next slide I want to show you demonstrates that these mix-ups do go on. So how often do we make a minor mistake like this? And these data are from a large centre in the north of England doing somewhere around 2,500 cycles a year. That is the number of witness points on a monthly basis that the system is recording. So it's somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 witness points per month. And that is the number of times that the embryologists got the wrong dish out of the incubator. And these are highly trained embryologists, like many of yourselves. And I suppose what's interesting here is that it continues to happen. So approximately in this centre, every 5,000 times an embryologist did something, they did it wrong. Now, the point is that because of the witness system, it didn't go on to anything horrible, it was stopped. So, I'm going to leave it there, but really leave in your minds the benefit of the system, balanced against the risks of not having the system, against the cost of it. And I'll just leave that thing running in the corner for you to have a look at again. So thank you very much indeed.